Yay, I think we're live. Hi, Jamie and Louise. Joyce. There's Linda. Just waiting for my stream to pop up there. Hi, Patty. Okay, thank you, Patty. Hey, Shirley. That's weird. I haven't changed a thing. I'm going to refresh. I'll be right back. Hopefully we have it now. Yay, there we go. Don't ask me what that was about. Hopefully that was a YouTube studio thing. It just didn't want to give up my connection for some reason. Showing an excellent connection now. Can everybody hear me? You're knitting and watching, Shirley? Yay. Just double checking before we get started that everything is working properly. Yay, okay. Wonderful. I'm glad that the sound is working. That was just something weird that hasn't happened before. If for some reason it studio didn't want to go live. So today we are going to be working on the mini packaging for making boxes that go inside the ornaments that people are making. Let me play the intro and we will go ahead and get started because we're going to be covering a couple of different things that you're going to need to do in order to do this with the files that we have. Yay! So, hi Cynthia. Cynthia, we are going to be creating the little miniature boxes. People are making ornaments. We used to make miniatures all the time for our Barbie dolls and things like that. And it's starting to get big again, I guess, because I see a lot of miniature stuff coming around, from chairs to tables to little miniature boxes and things like that. And they are putting these inside ornaments and creating like Amazon, UPS, FedEx, Ornaments, things like that. So we're going to talk about a little bit how you can make the packaging. We're going to be using Amazon tonight, but you can change this up to be what you want it to be, from the United States Postal Service to FedEx or UPS, things like that. And I'm going to show you guys how. So the first thing, hi Vicki, the first thing that you want to do is, if you Patreon or Ko-fi supporter or a cutie collector or higher YouTube channel member subscriber, you have access to the files I've already made up for you guys. If you don't, then you will need to go and search and get your logos and things like that. So before we get completely started, I've left a note in here, and I will remove this after the live, this note, because then of course the tutorial will be there. Because if you ever click on the tutorial and it takes you to a live that hasn't happened yet, of course you're just going to see that the live is scheduled. Okay? After that, you'll be taken right to the video to show you how. So the first thing you want to do, and I want to say thank you to all my moderators and my supporters. We couldn't do any of this without you. Before we go any further, I just want to get that in there. You're going to come over and you're going to get your design space file and the SVG for making the mini boxes, because in this SVG I've set it up with the Amazon for you. Now if you are a supporter, let's see, back here where we did the UPS, you can see right here there's a PNG file for logos. That one has your FedEx, United States Postal Service, and UPS in it. Okay? And you can use those and you can modify it in place of the ones that we're using here. I did not put them in this file because anybody knew I didn't want to confuse with adding other things in there that we didn't need for the tutorial. So you have access, if you are a subscriber or a supporter, then you have access to those PNGs. If you're not, you can Google them, look for PNGs, make sure you get one that's good and sharp, and make sure that you download it and upload it into Design Space, okay? But I put them all in one spot here for my supporters, and it's under this UPS box. Okay, so open up your Design Space file, and it's going to look just like this when you open it, okay? That is not the correct size. I left it this size for the tutorial so that you guys could see it, because it is extremely tiny, okay? Very, 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 very tiny. All right? I didn't really want to move that, so I'm going to put that back. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Doesn't really matter. We're going to set it up anyway. So you want to get that. Then you want to click on your SVG and download it. And mine's going to download right here. You saw it. I have a Mac, so it's going to unzip it automatically for me. If yours doesn't unzip automatically, then you'll need to get that. So I'm just going to open that up. Oops. Actually, hopefully I did that right. Did I not save it correctly? I don't know why it's trying to open my shortcuts a lot. I may have to redo that for y'all. I might have uploaded the wrong thing. Let's see. Did anybody try to download that? Did they get it? I'm going to open it. I'm going to see what it does. I don't know why it's trying to open in there. I'm just going to leave it there. We're going to go over to Design Space. Once you've got it, I may have to correct that if I uploaded the wrong thing there. Because if you don't have shortcuts a lot, it's not going to open for you. You're going to go over here after you've opened your file, because we're going to combine a file. We're combining a Design Space file with an SVG, because all these shapes are all from Design Space. And this one is 99 cents. This one right here, if you don't have access, or if you do have access, you'll have to pay for that. But I put one in that file that you won't have to pay for, you can replace with, if you don't want to pay for it. So let's just upload, and I'm going to try to drag that in. Click upload again. I've already got it there, so I know I did it right. And we're just going to drag that in. Yep, it's right. It just looked weird on there when I double clicked it. It was opening up, I guess because I have shortcuts a lot, and that's where I made it. I never had that happen before, but First time for everything, right? Oh, yay, I'm glad you liked the book, Shirley. That was a request. Somebody requested it, so I did it. And I hope you guys can get a lot of use out of that Advent book. You can use that year to year. So make sure that you save it. Now, you'll notice that for our Canadian friends, I did Amazon Canada for you guys. So you've got everything that you need to create your mini Amazon boxes right here in this SVG file. You're going to name it and tag it. And I'm just going to label that Amazon. That's how I would look it up. And then you're going to hit, oops. I am just having a really hard time today. You're going to upload, then you're going to save it, and then you're going to upload it. Okay? Once you name it, tag it, save it, you're going to insert it just like I'm doing here. There we go. Now I'm clicked on it and insert. There we go. And it's going to bring it in. And you can see that's also very, very, very huge. Okay? And that's because I want you guys to be able to see it. We're going to size it down, but we're going to work with it first. Because working with teeny, 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 tiny images, you can't see, and it's very difficult to maneuver and get those in like you want them. So if we leave it big like this and work with it and place everything, we can go from there in sizing. Let's see. I'm going to get rid of this page. We don't need that, just so I can bring this in. Now, if you don't have a pen and paper handy, you can come back and refer back to this. But if you have a pen and paper, you might want to grab that, have it handy, because I'm going to be giving you guys some color numbers. Okay? Those color numbers are for the prime. I did look them up. They should be brought into, I'm going to ungroup these. They should be brought in as the color that I saved them. These are the actual Amazon colors. Yep. That is 00, A like Alpha, the number 8, E like Edward, the number 1. And that is going to give you the Amazon Prime blue color. Because screens can be deceiving, but you want it to print the right color on your printers, okay? On your Amazon Arrow, that actual color is F like Frank, 9900. And I'm giving you these in case you upload your own PNGs and you need to separate them and fix the colors, because sometimes screenshots won't bring them in. Then you've got your basic black and white. Now on this one, I just looked up corrugated cardboard color, and this is the color it gave me, and this is what I used, and it looked fine. And that is color A like Alpha, D like Delta, 8762. So when you pick your colors, those are the colors that you're going to want to use. White, of course, is all zeros, I believe, and one of them's all zeros, one's all Fs. So we'll look at black, and that'll tell me. Well, that's not really black, but don't know how. Black is all zeros, okay? Black is all zeros, and white is all Fs. So that you know when you go to set up your file, because you want to use those true colors to get the best look when you're doing this. Those are your hex numbers, Shirley, and you can also look up RGB colors if you want to, but in Design Space it uses the hex colors. Now, like I brought all of this in, and some of my blacks I forgot to change evidently because they're not the same. You can color sync, guys, and just drag those up into one and color sync everything. Those look good. So that's the best way to do that. These are going to look black down here because they're so teeny tiny, okay? But they're okay. We're going to fix those. And I'm just checking chat to make sure I don't miss anything. All right. So, like I was stating in the file, I am just going to get rid of this one because I'm going to be using the regular Amazon.com. Nothing against our Canadian friends. It's just this one is longer. So I want to make sure that it shows up the way that we need it to do. The one for Canada is a little bit shorter than this one is. I'm just going to group these two. Guys, your arrow goes right up under the Z, and then it connects the tail up here to the A. That's the Amazon Smile products from A to Z, in case anybody was wondering about that. And we're going to go back to layers, and I'm going to group those. This one, if you just want to get the blue arrow, you can use your contour, and you can contour out the word prime or contour arrow, duplicate it, do the same, and separate those, or you can slice it apart, however you want to do, but it is one image. Here is the barcode. Right here, this one is one that I used from Design Space. It's 99 cents, but if you're a supporter, here's one that you can use. It's just a bunch of lines, squiggly lines, and all you're going to do is size it down to look like a scan code. Is everybody with me so far? This is an extra arrow for your box done in the black. And then these are your box markings. You can see that I have some in here from Design Space, but you have them in your file too. All you're going to do is unlock them and size them up however you want. Make them small. Okay? I'm not going to use them because I've already got the ones in here for Design Space, but I did put those in the file for you guys, in the SVG file. Now here is the tricky part. I'm going to get that up out of my way. Here is your tape, and I'm just going to make it big so you can see that the prime is on there and it looks really good. All you're going to do is select all of these, and you're going to group them or attach them, whatever you want to do, and then you're going to get your tape. You're going to select the two, and you're going to align center. Once you have it aligned center, you're going to flatten it. Your prime is going to show up a lot better after it's flattened, okay? Because it removes all the cut lines are black, and it's set up for cut when it comes in. So put those on there and then flatten it, and you'll see when we get over there that your prime will come in like it's supposed to. And let's see, let me pull up my window. Here again, you're going to need some pen and paper, so write this down. These are the sizes that I used. And I used two different sizes, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is the size that is going to work the best. I'm going to ungroup it. And you can change your sizes at any time. You'll want to size your box down to 5.5 inches. I'm sorry, that's the one. 5.5 inches is the little bit bigger box. That's the one. You can use that at 5.5 and 1.9 high. This one that's in white turned out to be the best size that I found. Hey, Jamie. And I sized this one to 5 1/4. And then the height automatically adjusted itself. Okay. So there's a difference, and I'm going to show you the difference between the 5.5 inch and the 5 1/4 inch. It doesn't sound like a lot, but there's a big difference in the box size, okay? There's a big difference. And if you're putting it inside of an ornament, that is going to matter a lot. I'm going to show you those. Did I start with another one, Marianne? I didn't realize that it did either. For some reason, the studio didn't connect. OBS was connected and said we were streaming. I didn't touch it. I just refreshed my studio. It may have started another one. Could somebody post that in the group just in case? Post the link. I didn't realize it had done that. And playback will be available if anybody missed anything. Because I did not start the video until after I made sure we had sound. So nobody will miss anything. So again, we're going to go with 5 1/4. Now on your tape, the size that I'm using, and you can make this one long tape and duplicate it if you want. I prefer to work with it in smaller pieces because of the print and cut limitations. The shorter pieces will give you more maneuverability, okay, when you're duplicating. I started it with a whole different name. All I did was refresh. It shouldn't have. I will go back and change the video links if we need to after the live. That's something, YouTube did something there. It wasn't me. Everything's set and everything was just like it's supposed to be, except YouTube didn't connect for whatever reason. You're watching it under Gnome for the holidays? Okay, I'll fix that. I don't know what YouTube did because it shouldn't be, because that one is not even there. I overwrote it like I do every week. That's weird. That's weird. I will fix it afterwards, guys. After the live, I will fix it. Everybody can still see and everybody can still hear, and I will fix it afterwards. Afterwards, it will say the mini boxes. Okay? Okay, so we've got our sizes, but on your tape, you can make your tape, and I've got mine set at 0.321 wide, and I've got it set at 2.347. And I couldn't do this in the file for you guys because once I upload to it, then you guys can't open it. Okay? So I won't be saving this one because if I do, you guys won't be able to open it. Thank you, Sue. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, but we'll fix it. So once you've got everything in your file, you can start sizing. And again, we're going to take this box right here and we're going to size it down. You can see the width is 16. We're going to make it 5.25. And everything else is going to size. See how tiny that got? And that's why I say we want to place everything before we make it that size so that we can work with it. Because you want, if I make these that small to go on there, you're not going to be able to see them. And you can tell that there. So we're going to ungroup it, or detach it. I'm sorry, I attached them. I'm going to arrange and I'm going to send this to the back. I got all my lines detached. I want that detached. There we go. So I got these detached, and on my file, I'm going to show you guys where I put everything. When you bring the file in, they are set to where they're supposed to be, and that's why I had them attached. But because I've been moving things, I'm going to reset them so you can see what I did. All right. And I need that as a little guide, so I'm gonna put it up here. So the first thing I did is I got my barcode here and I put it down on this end right here. And you don't want to fill up your space, but you kind of want it readable, so you can size that in there. And then this piece was in this corner, and you can size that up how you want it. This one is going to go right here in this upper right corner, and under it are going to be your up arrows. Okay? That's where those go. Then your Amazon Black Smile is going to go on this side of the box. You just want to kind of center that up in there. And then you want to take your Amazon here, and you want to size that down to fit. And you can make that as big or as small as you want. I kind of like that size right there. And I've got it all laid out. So now I'm going to, while I have my lines detached, you want to make sure that all of your score lines are detached. I'm going to detach it. And you're going to arrange and send that to the back. And I'm just going to do a little clicking here. I've got these lines. I'm going to select these lines down here and then these lines here, and I'm going to attach them. And you can see that they flashed That means all of my lines are attached. I'm going to move them out of the way, and I'm going to select all that box, and I'm going to flatten it. And now you can see that this is all one layer, but it's too big. Okay, that's what that means. I have to size that down. I'm going to bring my score lines back, arrange them to the front. I'm going to align, center. Now, and then we're going to, before I flatten, you have to decide, and I'm going to be showing you the difference on this. I left mine white here, and you can cut it and have it print and cut on craft paper. And I'm going to show you, this little orange arrow does not show up well when you do it that way. But if you change that color to the color that I gave you earlier for that brown, then you can print it on white paper and not have to worry about this piece. Okay? If you leave it white and print it on craft paper, because white is the only color that doesn't print, if you leave it white and do that, then you have to have this little piece right here. Okay? And I don't know if I put that in the file. The way that I did mine, I just had a little bit of fun with it. Let's see. I'm trying to get my page back up there. I'm going to resize that so you guys can see it. Actually, let me undo that. And so I can tell you what size. You're going to put a square in. Your square is going to need to be 0.338 by 0.462. Okay. Now you can just kind of eyeball it as well. That's what I did, and it ended up fitting well. But that's the size you're going to need if you're going to leave this white and print on craft paper. Okay. Is everybody with me? Now, if you can flatten it along with your box over here if you're changing the color, and that way it won't print in that square anything but the black writing. And to me, that was easier and better. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a shape, and you're going to get a square, and you're going to resize it, and then I keep losing my page here. Then you're going to type in what you want. And I just used the same barcode, okay? I just put my numbers on there. This is the date I created the file. You can change it to December. You can change it to a date. But I created the file on 11/20/2020. So that's how I came up with the numbers. Come up with the numbers how you want. Put a birthday, any special occasion, something that reminds you. And then I just did Merry Christmas, 1 North Pole Way, Sonatown, USA. You can put anything you want, but if you're using these, that's what I did. Okay? So all I did was I got a square. I made it white. I copied my little barcode. I sized it up. And then I placed it on the box. I did it in a rectangle so it would look more like a label with my writing on there. You want to put your writing on there and flatten it, then size it. Flatten it first. That way it doesn't skew when you unlock it. Okay? So get it sized, put it on there, flatten it, and then bring it over. So then you've got your label. You've got everything. We're going to go in, and I'm going to change my color of that. I'm going to go in, because I had it on flatten, I'm going to select my color. I'm going to get that brown color. Now I'm going to arrange and send that to the back. Move this out of the way. Select all and flatten. So now it's going to print my little label on there, everything all at once. Okay? And that is the way you do it if you're printing it on white paper and want to get that box color and get your label all printed on there. So all you have to do is glue it together and put your tapes on. Again, if you want to do it out of craft paper, leave it white, and then you're going to have to cut your label separate. And I'll show you that when we put it together. I left this in there in case you guys wanted to do some little tiny envelopes to look like the little plastic packages. People are using those. That way you can put that on white, kind of make the little pillow type envelopes with the prime on there. That's what that is for. So let's go to the overhead and put one of these together. There we go. Okay, and here's all my experiment boxes. Now, most are using these ornaments. They come from the Dollar Tree. They look like little jars, and you can open them up, okay, from the bottom. They do have the top, but you don't need it for this one. If you want to build your ornament stuff on a disc, you want to do a 2-inch disc, which is a little bit smaller than the lid, and that is fine. It comes right up on the edge of the ornament so that you can build it without it falling inside completely all the way down to the bottom. And then once you glue all of your little boxes and stack them, then you can just slide the lid down over the top of those and they will stay. Now, this is the first one that I did, and I think I did this one at 5.5. It will fit in this way. It just depends on what you're doing, how you want your ornament to look. You can do that, and I think, again, I went to 5.75 on this one, or I made it right at 2 inches on this part of the box, was 2 inches. And that is the first section that has the Amazon on it. So if that section of the box is 2 inches, you will get this size. Now, this size, this is the one that I did on craft paper. This is the color that I printed. There's a little bit of difference, you can tell. Okay? But you can see that you can't see the Amazon as well. I'm going to get close. It may be blurry, but I'm going to get close. Hopefully it'll focus in. But you can see the yellow arrow on this one. On this one, you can barely see it, and I did not change my file at all. Okay, so that's going to be something that you need to take a look at. Yes, Elia, the playback will be. We had a technical difficulty. I don't know what's going on, and I'll make the corrections afterwards. Okay, so this one was the one that I made at 5.5. Okay, this one was 5.75. This one was at 5.5, and then this one was done at the 5.25. And you can do different sizes. You can make them smaller, but I believe this size is going to fit best. It needs to fit on that lid so that your lid will go on without destroying your ornament. Okay. Once you get inside there, that's one thing. So if you want to go with the bigger boxes and have them tilted up in some point, then you can. But the smaller boxes are going to work better for you. So you could get that in there just by finagling it around. Maybe a little, if it's attached, you're going to be able to get that one in there as well at 5.25. It's just going to be a little more difficult. You can see how I cannot hardly get it in there. It's just the sharp point on it. If you kind of divot that point down a little bit, you're probably going to be able to work it in. Okay? But again, I'm saying the 5.25 inch is going to be your best size. You're not going to have to fight anything. It's going to go in and out of the ornament the easiest. So, in my opinion, 5.25 is going to be your maximum size for these ornaments. Okay? 5.25 is going to be the maximum for this type of ornament. And that's so that you can glue it on, you can stack it up, you can get your snow around it, and then you can pop it right into the lid with it glued down to that paper or cardboard, of course, poster board, whatever you're using, and then you'll be able to just drop your lid over the top and tighten it down. Your circle will be just big enough to keep it from flopping. Now, I don't have this one glued down, so it's going to move, okay? But you can see my circle isn't going to fall in there. So a 2-inch circle will keep it from falling in, and then you're going to glue everything to that, drop it in the lid, and then put your top over it. So let's make one of the boxes. Now what I did on my white ones, because I printed this from white paper, I did take a Copic marker just to make it look a little bit better. Okay, you can't see all that white edges and stuff. And guys, try to skew your tape a little bit and make it look real, because you know they never put that tape on perfect. So, you know, make it look good. But I did go around the edges. Like here, when you fold this, you're going to see that white edge. But I just took a Copic marker and edge, and then that added a little bit to it. And I played around with it. If you want to use sparkle, since it is for a Christmas ornament, and do some of the sparkly stuff, the Spectrum Noir Biscuit color works fairly well for that. And if you don't have either one of those, I think this one is Toast in the Copic marker E34. The other one is Pinkish Vanilla R01. Any of these colors will work to hide the white edge on your boxes. Okay, but that's all I did, is I just went around and colored all of those edges, just so when we put it together and it's in your ornament, you don't see these white edges all over everything, and it looks like you cut it out of the brown craft cardstock, because we know that the craft board is the same color all the way through. Okay, you'll need to fold and do the insides of those edges too, because they will show. All right, so if you're using the white, keep that in mind. I'm not going to color that whole thing just for time purposes. I'm just going to show you guys how you can put it together. And this is the way that it printed. This is the right side up. Don't pay attention to these. I also went around my tapes. I had to calibrate my print cup. I went around all of my tapes with a black, I just used my Cricut marker, just so I don't have that white edge on my tapes when I put it together. Because you can see this one, you don't see that white edge on my tapes, but if I place this on that box, then you can see that white edge, and it's not going to look very good. Okay, so make sure you're coloring those, because you can't print this out of black paper. Your blue and your craft board stuff won't show up. Your cardboard color won't show up. Crushed corners are more acceptable anyway. That's right, Paul. I mean, so you can make them look really, really real. You need a miniature boot print. I do have a boot print SVG. It has the Santa Claus initials in it on the freebies tab, I think, Louise. That would be cute. So let's go ahead. I'm going to put one together out of the craft board just so you guys can see. There is your teeny, 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 tiny label that you're going to need if you're going to do it like this, because you can't print white. So you're going to need that teeny, tiny label. And then I have all of my little tapes. So I'm just going to do 2 tapes and color those really quick. You guys can ask questions, whatever, and we will get to those while I'm coloring these. I should have done it ahead of time, but I forgot. To be honest, I just forgot. And that way it's going to look like we printed that on black paper when we didn't. There's one. I have a really tough time holding minis. My hands cramp. Always, when you're coloring, also put your good side away from you. That way, if your pen slips and it marks, you're not marking on the good side. It marks on the back that won't show. So we have that. And we're going to take our little box. And we're going to fold all of our tabs over. And I'm just going to use my bone folder and go in and make sure I get a good crease. Okay. And we're going to fold the base over. And I don't know how many you can get to a print and cut page on these guys. What I did is I went in and I hid my tape and I hid my label. I grouped them and I hid that. And then I did my boxes for the print and cut. And then I came back and I hid my box for the print and cut and then unhid this and printed those. Because if you don't, Design Space doesn't give us an option to move them around in the print mat. And you don't want to be printing it just won't print right. Let's just say that. It won't print right. You have to do two on the other because you've got to have that white label. And with that on there, it doesn't do right. Because you're cutting this from craft cardstock. So using two different types of paper, you have to do two different print cuts. So once you've got it folded, then you're just going to get your glue. And I'm using art glitter glue. And you're going to put a little bit on that tab right there. And I'm just going to fold that in and fold this over. We're just going to give it a little rub and let it stick. And I did put my address on here. It's not printed on a white label, but I did attach it to this just so it would give me a guide on where to glue my label. You don't have to do that, but I was like, it's going to print and cut anyway, why not? But super, super easy to lay this box out. Then you're going to take the bottom. We're just going to put some glue on these tabs. And you're going to repeat all of these steps, guys, if you're using UPS, Post Office, or FedEx. You're just going to repeat all the steps instead of using Amazon logos. You're going to use their logos. That's all it is. Yes, you could put a ring in here, earrings, a necklace, all sorts of things. Of course, you can't glue it shut if you're going to do that unless you want them to tear it apart, but you could Velcro it, Velcro your tape on there, or do a magnet. And I'm just gluing this one shut. Isn't it cute? So once you have it all glued, and again, if you use the white paper and you colored all your edges, it's going to look very nice. And if you didn't and you missed an edge, now's the time to color it. Okay? Then you're going to get your tape that you've done the edges on. And I like mine to have at least one of the primes on the top and the end. And then kind of just bend it and then bring it out and crease it good. Put some glue on the back. And glue it down. And do the same with the bottom. I like mine to all go the same way, but that's totally up to you guys so that it looked like it was continuous. And again, like I said, you can just duplicate and make that one long black strip if you want, but I wanted it to look like the tapes were overlapped. Or you could even trim it off and give it a gap on the box here. You can trim off on the end and give it a gap, like so. You can do it that way, because a lot of the boxes I get are done like that, but I just like the look of it overlapping myself. Totally up to you. And I like to skew mine off just a little bit to make it look more believable, instead of lined up perfectly. I want that skewed off this side. But you can put it on straight. And then I'm going to try to get this label. Put a little bit of glue on there, and then we're going to put that right there where I had the print, just to show me what end of the box it went on. And that's all there is to it. Yes, Barely Art Glue is on Amazon, guys. I can get you guys a link for that. I haven't tried it yet. I had planned on it. But then you're just going to put your boxes in. I'm going to go ahead and I wanted that to be up just a little bit. I'm going to grab a pop dot. I'm going to use a black one just so you guys can see it. And put a pop dot on there. And then I'm just going to, maybe 2. And I'm just going to kind of prop that one up and then glue it down at the base down here. Maybe I'll just do a small. White ones would be better here, guys. Maybe. I don't know. But you can see how I got it at an angle on there. You're going to use your snow, and that's going to be a really painful experience probably to glue a lot of that down on there. That wasn't dry yet. My tape wasn't dry yet. All right. But you're going to glue all of that around your base down here, okay? And then you're just going to kind of stack your box. I'm going to do that one in a different direction. You can pop dot that on there or just glue it. Depends on how much dimension that you want. Okay, so I'm going at a different angle. And you can do even smaller boxes like an envelope. If you want to do that, guys, all you have to do is unlock this box and shrink it down in its height. And leave the width the same. Shrink it down and then attach all of your logos. Now, I found some bubble wrap. Some teeny tiny bubble wrap. Okay? And I'm going to tell you where I got this. Over in the candles, where you're looking at candles and glass stuff at Dollar Tree, they have some of these little bitty bubble wraps. And you'll probably get them in some other little items. But anything small that's glass or like candles, you can get this and cut it into strips. And then you can add some of this on the inside too if you want. You know, just for some looks to go in with your snow, some packing material, stuff like that, just to decorate it up. And I would cut probably 4 or 5 of those to put in here, but I'm not going to make you guys sit and watch me cut that. Put your snow in there, glue it on around the base. Once it's dry, put the top on. Now you're ready to decorate it with your bows and things like that. Super simple and easy. Yay, I hope I get mine too. I haven't got mine yet. Of course, you want to put your bows and all that kind of stuff on the top of it, guys. He works for the sorting department in UPS. That will be cute. So really easy to do. Super, super easy ornament to do, guys. And again, with your FedEx, guys, all you got to do is print it out on white. No coloring the edges, none of that stuff. Print it out on the white, and it's good to go with your orange and purple logo on it. And the UPS, and then same with the post office. White box, do the red and blue on it. I didn't do a finished one, Cynthia. This tutorial was mainly about how to use the SVG file and put it in with a file. I didn't actually do an ornament, But there are a ton of them on Pinterest in different styles and things like that. But you're just going to pour some of these in a bowl. And I got the bigger ones for this. That way you don't have to do it. Those little ones will be a huge pain. You want to do this. You could even use maybe some felt for snow in here if you wanted. Okay. You haven't seen them before? Yeah, they're most all the groups. People are posting them everywhere. Let's see if I can pull one up really quick on Pinterest. Let's see. I got so many things on there. Let's see if I can find one. I don't want to give away anything that we're thinking about. Let me slide it over for a second. Let's see. What did I look that up under? Okay, here we go. There's one where somebody did gray boxes in theirs and did Amazon all the way around it on there with vinyl. Here's another one they did with their Amazon boxes. You can see them in there. They did vinyl on the outside, snow on the bottom. I don't know that I would do that much vinyl on mine. There's the back side of one. There it is. But they did gray boxes for whatever reason. I don't know. Let's see. Here's another one here where they did 2 or 3 different sizes. Oh, thank you. Let me transition. That was me. That wasn't them. I forgot to change. There we go. Let me go back. Here's the one they did in gray. It's going to give me the second page. If I can get it to pull up the second one. There we go. Well, I still didn't get it. I got it the first time. Okay. There it is. They did their gray boxes. I don't think I would put that much vinyl because you can't see what they did. They've got it totally blocked up. Here's one that they did in the color boxes like we did in the brown boxes. Here's another one. The saying that they're putting on it is, here comes Amazon, right down the driveway. So if y'all want to put that on there, right down my driveway, I'm sorry. There's the saying. Here's another one. You can see that how they put the bow on the top. They have a red base on theirs. Mine's silver. I guess you could paint them. You could spray paint them. Yeah, the vinyl took over the cuteness of it. I mean, I like the saying, here comes Amazon. And this one I think is done better, but because they did make it a little bit smaller, and their box is a little bit bigger, so you can see it at least. You can see the boxes in there. So I think that one's done a little bit better to give you some ideas. I think that I would stack my boxes and place my my vinyl on the side where I don't want the tape and the labels and things like that to be seen. So tons of things that you can do. I don't know where. Sue had one that had the little package in there, in the white package, the pillow package with the blue prime printed on it. I don't see that one in here. That's the one I was looking for. I thought that one was super cute as well. Yeah, it looks like I put glitter tape around that edge, but you could spray paint them, I'm sure. I don't see a problem with spray painting your lid if you wanted a different color. That one doesn't have the little package in it either. Darn. And of course, I forgot to save the pin. I forgot to pin it. But make it your own. I mean, Pinterest is a great jumping off point, but make it your own. Make yours the one of a kind that everybody wants to copy. I just don't see it in there, guys. But there is one that has, if you search enough, you'll find it. It has the little white package with the prime on there. And again, all you're going to do basically to make it puff out is put a cotton ball in it. You're just going to do a square, do your square white. And I'm going to say it would be, I don't know, a 1.5 inches wide by, I don't know, 3 inches tall maybe. And then you're just going to put a cotton ball in there and fold it over and glue all the edges down so that it looks puffy. And then you can put your prime logo. You can see that it looks black because it's showing all of those lines on it. You can just scatter these about throughout that envelope. Select it all, and I would just do them all random and flatten, and then you can see how it shows up, so that when you fold that in half and put that cotton ball in there and glue all the edges around, then it's going to look like one of the puffy envelopes, and you can stick that in there on the side of your boxes. Be really, really, really cute. Vicki, you could use adhesive spray. I personally would not use adhesive spray on something like this because that stuff gets everywhere and everything will be super sticky. So I would use either my wet glue and glue them together, or foam dots, something like that. All right. Does anybody, I'm not going to save this. I'm going to close that out before I save it. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Ask me. Shoot me a message. I'll be happy to help you out. Just make sure that when you're doing these that you do a save as. Get your file, do a save as, do one as your Amazon. Do a save as and do one as your UPS. I would not try to combine them all with all these print and cuts and then flattening all this, what are your labels and things like that with all these numbers and all in it, because you will bog down design space. Even though, because I realized, even though that the new one is faster, I got 6.15 or whatever it is faster and it's a little bit better. But if you do a lot of those, it will bog it down. I think I did all of these and put 2 of these in there, and mine started slowing down. So your print and cuts need to be separated, and anything that has a lot of writing in it. Design Space is designed to do sentiments, not books. So, you know, you can't write a whole poem, a full-page poem in here, because it will still bog down. Yeah, flip your logos around. You can just twist them around. I should have done that before I put them in there. But yeah, make it double-sided. Flip a couple of them around. Put a score line in there if you want to. That'll help you. And then you can puff it out with a piece of a cotton ball, or you could even use probably just a foam dot inside it to keep it puffed out. Because it's going to be tiny. It's going to be very small. Yep, Linda got her pint there. All right, guys. Thank you for watching. I will go and correct whatever it is YouTube did to us on the video, and I will catch you. I am going to release a file for Wednesday. I don't know what it is. When you finish your file, Vicki, yes, you'll just hit print and cut. Like I have mine here. I have the final done. You can see I'm just going to hit make it. And I've got both of mine up, so it's going to throw them all on one. It's going to do one in white. Just ignore that because that white one would not be there. But you're going to do all your tapes and everything. It puts everything in on one. You can apply, and it's ready to go. If you follow the steps that I gave you through the video, then yours will be ready for print and cut. Again, the white one is if you're going to cut it out of brown craft paper. If you're not, you want to change your color and make it brown so that you can do everything on one sheet of white paper. But I think I was able to get 4 boxes out of one sheet, maybe 5. So I'm just going to get rid of that one. Don't need that one. But again, make sure that you make it 5.25. Hit make it, and you can see there it's going to bring my tapes in too, so I'm just going to do 4. I think with the tapes you can do 3. I think I resized it, so yeah, you can do 3 with your tapes. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Yes. I will be releasing a file on Wednesday. Don't know what it is. It may be something just cute and quick. I asked the patrons over in our elite group. I think I'm going to do the design bundles file. Everybody's doing the tiles with the vinyl on it. I think I will do that cardstock version for you guys really quick. It won't really be a file, but I will tell you where to get the file and show you how to assemble it and what materials I used. And we'll do that, and because everybody's going to be cooking and doing all their Thanksgiving stuff. Let's see if I can get my calendar up here. Our next live will be next Monday. The 30th. So that's going to be our next live. But I will pop something out, some small video, something out here on Wednesday. If not, I will do a file for you guys, something. 5 1/4, Vicki. 5.25 is what size I did those boxes. And they fit perfectly. And you can go smaller than that, but bigger than that, you're going to have a problem. Yes, you can do the tile part of it out of chipboard, Pat. You can. So I thought I might just show you guys some options on using those because they have a ton of them. They have a ton of them, all different styles. That one set of files I showed you guys was just one of, I think, 20 pages of them. So, but the 3D ones I thought were really cute. They have all sorts of styles for the vinyl, and then they had like I think 2 pages of the 3D ones. All right, guys, thanks for joining me. I will catch you next Monday. If you need anything between now and then, please let me know. And if you're not a patron or a Ko-fi supporter, come on and join us and jump into that elite group. Get the VIP treatment. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.